In this edition of Online Office Hours, we wanted to discuss the roles and responsibilities of civics directors and planning committees. We believe there are three essential roles of civics directors and planning committees, and that they are: 1, providing advice to neighbors, city administration, city council, and development applicants; 2, involving the community in your decision-making; and 3, building relationships with all the players in the development process. So, the first responsibility, which is the responsibility to advise. Community leagues receive all development notifications for their neighborhood, and they are also included on many of city administration's circulation lists when major changes are proposed to the zoning bylaw. One major responsibility of the civics director and committee is to comment and provide advice on how a proposed development fits into the community and, where possible, suggest changes which could make the proposed development more compatible or beneficial to the neighborhood overall. You are well positioned to provide this information because you interact with your neighborhood on a daily basis and really understand its rhythms. As such, you may be better able to understand the particular needs of your own community than someone who does not live there or interact with your neighborhood's built form on a daily basis. Don't know where to start with determining how a proposed development is compatible or beneficial? You could always do a community visioning exercise with members of your league to determine what features of their neighborhood they value most and what they want to see their community look or feel like in 5 or 10 years. So the second responsibility, which is the responsibility to involve the community. The public tends to be interested in the planning process when an application affects them directly, and they are not usually mailed planning notices like the community league is. They usually learn about the applications through notice postings, advertisements in the newspaper, through the community league, or outreach by the applicant. One of the key methods for increasing community involvement in the planning process in your community is to keep community members informed by providing regular updates on the planning effort, issues, and successes. It is equally important that there is an opportunity for community members to provide comments and suggestions to the Community League Planning Committee generally, and on specific issues. A responsible planning committee will ensure that comments and input from residents and other community members are heard and considered. The public and neighbors have an opportunity to comment on planning applications independent of the community league. Notice postings and other advertisements indicate who to contact for more information and how to participate further in the approval process for the specific application. The public is invited to participate in the process to provide information and insight on local community conditions to the Development Authority. This is particularly important because of the potential impact a development may have on the neighbors. Although the public may raise various issues, the planning authorities are limited by legislation as to what factors they may consider in making a decision. It is therefore best to concentrate on planning issues. In theory, the director and committee should comment on the bigger picture, and as such, the views of the director or committee may not always coincide with the views of some individual residents in the community. However, involving the voice of the broader community in your comments and advice is essential, and you should include any strongly held opinions from the greater community in any response to the city. Why? Because the community league may be the only community voice at the table in these discussions and may be viewed as speaking on behalf of the whole neighborhood. As such, to ensure the process is fair and equitable to everyone, you should be prepared to show how neighbors are feeling, not just the position of the civics committee or community league. The final responsibility, which is the responsibility to build relationships. As I mentioned earlier, there are many players in the planning process, and the key to success amongst these players is relationship building. Taking the time to build relationships with city staff, councilors, and development applicants will result in better information, better discussion, better outcomes, and a more rewarding experience for community volunteers, applicants, and other stakeholders. Committees are encouraged to discuss applications with applicants and invite them to the meetings of the planning committee. Most reputable applicants will be keen for support to be offered from the community league and won't hesitate to come discuss the project. Good relationships between applicants, community leagues, and file managers from the City of Edmonton can result in more timely approvals and development projects that are beneficial to the community. That concludes our brief presentation on the roles and responsibilities of civics directors and planning committees. Any questions?